All right, guys, so we're back here again today. We had a couple of change ups. I found stock spindles, which was awesome. We had the 2-inch drop spindles, which weren't going to work because the ball joint moves to the bottom side of the control arm now, of the spindle. So we had to go locate some stock ones. But I got those in. I'll show you the passenger side. I had to retaper some stuff. I didn't post it. I kind of got here and I was in a rush to get it going. But so you need to retaper this spindle, the top of the knuckle, as well as the bottom of the knuckle, because now the ball joint goes in from the bottom side as to where it went in from the top side. So those are two little changes that had to be done. And like I said, you can't use a drop spindle with this kit because it needs to mount from the bottom, which a 2-inch drop spindle is going to make it way too low. You could cause some rubbing issues and whatnot. So I got it all installed. I just need to go back through and tighten bolts. Got the Alden American coilovers in there. One thing you will need to do with this kit is you'll need to change the bushing that goes in here from I would believe it's like a 1/2-inch bushing. There's the this is for the other side, but the bushing that comes with it is the one that's on the right side, and this is the one that needs to go in it to be able to fit that bolt through there. So top and bottom, you'll need to change that. But next we need to change the tie rod end. We'll switch over to the bump steer kit that they have. But yeah, we're getting some progress done, guys. Next, I'll also put the wheel hub in there. Go ahead and mount the new brakes, swap over the calipers, put the rotors on, and this side will be done. You know, so stay tuned. I got a lot of other stuff I got to do, and I'll keep time lapse. You know, keep you guys updated. All right, guys, so I've got the passenger side done. Let me walk around and show you. We got the new spindle retapered, got the bump steer figured out, control arms are on, we got the Denali brake kit put on there. Everything's all hooked up. The wiring is kind of a little rough because all of the spots that I would have gone to for the factory locations have been either deleted or covered. So, you know, doing what I can. I just want to make sure there's no binding as the suspension travels through its rotation. So, you know, all I have left to do is bleed the brakes, but I need to get that driver's side done before I go ahead and even waste time doing that. But where I wasted a lot of time was figuring out the spindle situation. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with this first. I need to retaper this bottom hole because the ball joint will be going in from the bottom now. Go ahead and resize this bump steer or tie rod end. That's gotta go up to a 5/8 to fit the bump steer. We'll go ahead and retaper this top one to the correct measurement. I'll go ahead and clean up the inside of this wheel bearing surface because it is a little rough. And then we'll give it a little quick coat of paint. Then from there, that'll be done with that. Then I'll go ahead and move along to getting all these brackets cut off. They came off pretty easy, and this side, the frame doesn't have to be notched. I just need to move a couple of lines, so I'll go ahead and do that after I get the spindle ready to go. I spent a whole lot of time wasted today figuring that out, so let's get that knocked out first. All right, so I've got the tapered spindle all done, the upper ball joint, lower ball joint, and the bump steer kit. They've all been retapered, and this one has been bored to size. So I want to talk a little bit about the tools that I use to get there. I'll go through one at a time. So these both are 9/16 drill bit, 1/2 inch shank, and what you're gonna do is you'll use this one's just beat up. I use this one to kind of rough cut it, and then I'll go back through with my nice one. This one is some cheap one that I've had forever, and this is like a $35 drill bit. So you'll use the 9/16 to basically start this hole. This is a tapered hole. So you'll run the 9/16 through it, kind of get the flare out of the back side of it. You'll use the 9/16 here to kind of clearance your way. And then the bottom hole is already bigger than 9/16, so you won't need to do anything there. So I'll start with the cheap drill bit, then move to the nice one to kind of finish the cut up nicely in those two areas. Then for the bump steer bolt is 5/8. So I'll go from the 9/16 to the 5/8 and go ahead and get this one to size. Then you'll be done there. Up in the upper ball joint, what you'll do is you'll use this reamer. This is a Nordstrom reamer, and don't get me wrong, this is not cheap by any means. This drill bit right here in a Nordstrom bit, a 1-inch flute, will run you about $118. You can get the Speedway one. I don't know the quality. I do know that Nordstrom drill bits are fantastic. I've never had an issue with one. That was their fault. You know, I've used a lot of drill bits incorrectly and broken them and wondered why. Well, you know, when you use the wrong tool for the wrong job, that's what happens. So this is a 3-flat shank. Starts at about a 1/2 inch and works its way all the way up to about 1 inch. And you will not go that far, obviously. But if you look in this is the upper control, the upper ball joint. I barely protrude through. So, and that's enough to fit the new ball joints for this kit. Here at the bottom, the ball joint originally mounted from the top, but now with this kit, it mounts from the bottom. So you need to go, the taper is actually facing this way in the kit, or in the front factory. So what you'll do is you'll run the bit from this side. Now if you take a look, you'll see I've got just about an inch coming through the other side. And what you're gonna do is, this is kind of trial and error. You're gonna drill a little bit, clean it all off. You get a lot of shavings. These give like the spirally, sharp shavings, so be careful. You'll blow it all off, and you'll go ahead and fit your ball joint. Work on these one at a time. You don't need to try and do everything at once. It just make things harder on yourself. So I started with this one, got it to where it fit, and where, you know, I had about, I would say quarter to 3/8 of an inch of thread on the ball joint coming out this way, which gives you plenty enough for the castle nut and for the cotter pin and the hole. Same thing on this one. Obviously you get a little bit more tightness or looseness on this one because the taper was facing the other direction, but it still works just fine. So those are a couple of tools that I use to get the job done. Again, by no means are they cheap. This drill bit, it's like I said, about $118. And this drill bit is about anywhere from $30 to $40, depending on the quality you get. So there you go. Well, I didn't get as far as I thought I would. I ran out of consumables for my plasma cutter. This stuff's pretty grimy, so it's really hard on consumables. There's a lot of grease, grime, dirt, oil. So, as you can tell, all this orange stuff is burnt grease and dirt. So, I made a good bit of headway. I gotta get this mount right here cut off, this one up back here. Basically all of this will be flat when I'm done, but I gotta run and grab some consumables, and so it's about time to wrap up anyways for the day, so I guess we'll be back at it tomorrow. Stay tuned, guys.